right, welcome back to Coffee with Spects, featuring me, BrycethePrince, and Spects is here, and this is his whole shindig, but he lets me start it sometimes. How you doing, Spects?
It's wet and cold, and I hate it.
Did it snow there today at all?
No, but hail stuck on the ground yesterday, and I already got told I was dramatic by a certain someone. So, whatever.
Well, I wonder who that certain someone is.
Definitely not a certain chick, but we don't have to get into we don't have to get into the nitty gritty of my so-called dramaticness.
Oh goodness.
Oh goodness.
Are you that TikTok trend where it goes, am I the drama? I couldn't be the drama.
Oh no, the difference is
I might be the drama.
Oh no, the difference is I'm aware I am at least some of the drama, but I'm not. But see, I'm dramatic, but I'm dramatic for effect. I'm not dramatic because to be dramatic. I'm dramatic as an actor.
Is that what they call it? Is that the excuse they teach you in drama school?
I don't know. I didn't go to drama school. That's just the excuse I'm telling myself.
I mean, you were in what's it called in high school, right? In improv. So
improv tells you never to say no. Wait, am I in that cult from Far Cry 5? The power of yes? Are they as an improv group? Oh my god, they're just an improv group.
Are we now saying yes to everything?
I don't know. I escaped a bunker and they're like, that's the power of yes, baby. And I'm like, I think it's the power of me just running, but hey, whatever floats your boat, guys.
Oh boy. So, but no, how is everything going over at Spects Gaming TV? You did, as of this recording, you did do a Far Cry stream. It was fun.
I liked it. I lost my shot for a good minute, so I mean that sucked. But
for anybody watching or listening to this, if you visit Spects stream the next few days, try typing in at Spects Gaming TV and nothing else, and see what happens.
What a bully! I'm bullied by my mods.
Hey, you gave me the power of being a mod.
I'm regretting a lot of things I've done. To be fair, completely honest. So, but somebody else is still streaming. He's streaming stuff.
I know. I'm actually doing it.
He streams half the time I do, both literally and figuratively, in time and days.
Hey, look, it's hard when you have 2 kids, full-time job, and all the different responsibilities in my life. So I'm doing what I can with what I have.
I love the fact that you, like, when it comes to like Hogwarts, you're like, you have all this, or I have all the time. Dude, I've been playing like an hour a day, and I think I played it once this week, and I only been playing for like an hour before I go to bed.
I literally had not played it between Sunday and now.
I have to get you on. We might do it tomorrow. I'll show you what my room of requirement looks like, so you have something to aim for.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I mean, as of when this podcast releases, we'll have already done it. But we've got our Terraria stream coming in.
Yeah, tomorrow night or Saturday night.
That'll be fun.
And
maybe that'll be a regular thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I gotta show you my room requirement. I should just tell you. I'm gonna tell you so you can use this video and audio to go back and listen. The things you need for your room requirement: specs, gaming, televisions, room requirement tips.
You should make a YouTube short with these tips.
You need, so I think everyone sort of suggests, if you just even Google it, put it in YouTube, you need so you need at least one auto potion maker. It'll make you any potion you have the recipe for, completely random, and it takes 12 minutes to do in game. It's a great way to kind of keep the potions and stuff refilled. Number 2, I have a couple of plant pots for herbology. I have one for the just the regular healing potions. I have one for the Merlin's Quest leaves I have going.
So FBI, if you didn't hear that, Spects says he's growing pot.
Yes. I have the large pot filled with the leaves, the leaves for the Merlin quests. Another one for like the healing potions, and then I have 3 ones that just mine the moonstones for me. So I constantly can just like, if I need something at a whim, boom, we can do it. That's what I keep meaning when I'm like, you got to make a resource for you.
Well, and I think this week what I'm going to do in between playthroughs is I am definitely going to do a lot more of the practical things, because obviously in stream it'd be boring for me to be like looking up like, oh, what's the best way to set this up? Making sure I'm.
The funny thing is, there's not necessarily like a right way to set it up. I think there's just ways to be more efficient with it.
Well, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, and I know a lot of it is sort of like trial and error. It's like, oh, this doesn't work, but I know like maybe it's because I play with Sabbath and I know how like Sabbath plays and he knows how I play, where we're both sort of like the big on like get the stacks, get the auto regen going, so that if you need something on a whim, you just have it. That like let the game kind of do the work for you, so you can just sort of like and plus it'll save you galleons. Because the good thing about this game is you buy something once, you can just sort of like, you're good.
Question: is there a storage spot in Hogwarts Legacy?
No,
that's something I feel like is missing.
You have to do the Merlin's quest, but like I don't think I did a good job of it when I was in your chat. When it comes to like the gear and stuff, don't feel bad about selling like a legendary, because even once you get like I don't even have it, but the ones you get the ability to upgrade it. Unless you found like the one you're gonna stick with, I haven't really found a need to be like, oh, this really like gives me that edge. I haven't felt that yet. I also don't have it. But even like people where it's like you watch like, dude, don't do this in Hogwarts Legacy or do this in Hogwarts Legacy. None of them have really stated like, oh, make sure you hoard your gear. It's basically like, you find something better, just sell what you're wearing. Like, there's no point to hold it. You find it easy enough anyway, and 2, they throw it at you. If you do a lot of side quests, they throw it at you like candy. And plus,
that makes sense.
And also too, like you can literally put on like whatever you want and change its appearance. So at the end of the day, even for like I like the way that looks, it'll still have it for you just to put the aesthetic on. So it really does. Like they almost have made gear like worthless, apart from like stats.
Yeah, but yeah, and apart from Hogwarts, I did some.
I'm really jealous of that Mario Kart Double Dash. I'm not gonna lie. I really
that's keying out a little bit, but yeah, I got my. Yeah, this one probably won't key out as much, but it's still in the wrapping.
I got this. I
got my GameCube controller.
I got a Switch Pro, like a knockoff Switch Pro controller.
I do have a Switch Pro controller.
I don't have the official one.
I got the Wii.
I got this one for like $10-$20 on Amazon, but I can use it I could use it technically for PC.
I have a Power A Pro controller as well, but I haven't used that one in a long time.
I would use this
except for I think Legend of Zelda.
I would use this for my mainstream, but I really don't like the triggers because they don't give me that like good feel.
Speaking of which, after this recording, I should probably set you up on the.
I know. I was about to say
about a few weeks ago. Set you up on the family,
because then we can do content.
Yeah, we could get on the online stuff together. No, yeah, and honestly, like having this, I talked about this earlier in my stream, but like, no, I talked about it during your stream, about the fact that now that I have an AV to HDMI converter, I'm like, man, there's PlayStation 2 games I can go back and play. And what was funny is I looked it up. And I wanted to see if Samurai Warriors was a game that had ever been streamed on Twitch. Probably. And it hasn't been streamed in a few days.
Yeah, I think a lot of them
when I checked.
A lot of them still get like stuff. Not a lot.
Yeah, they get occasional ones, or people who are like, oh, I remember this game that I used to love. I'm gonna speedrun it, and it's kind of like, well, for me, it's like I'm not gonna speedrun it, but you know,
I would love
so,
to
hey,
speedrun Mario 64.
We're gonna Twitch. We're gonna be part of Terraria Twitch tomorrow. I mean, Terraria right now. Let's see. Terraria has 464 viewers right now.
Had a lot.
Not a lot, but not a little.
I'd say compared to like Valheim, which is like the other one you wanted me to play.
Valheim is, I think, right now more because it's got a bigger. It had a big update recently.
Yeah, it's got 1.1k.
1.1k, yeah.
But
plus, Valheim is also a much like grander, like big 3D adventure type thing. So.
And I will say this though, the game like you rated into Mandy with that Mandy was playing, Sons of the Forest. That might be like another like research, like, you know, resource gathering game that's spooky. But I played Forest with Sabbath for a little bit, and I really liked that one.
Yeah. Well, and that I think that's why you like Terraria. And we'll see. I mean, as of this going up, you could be posting this, be re-listening to this part, and you'll be like, I hated Terraria.
Well, okay. For me, like, I don't like, my thing is, I don't necessarily like those games by myself. Like, I think that's why, like, The Forest was fun for me, is because, like, Sabbath knew what he was doing, and like at the end of the day, like he and I are just sort of laughing because it's like, what are we doing today, boy? Oh, we're purging these undesirables. Like, you know, like we make it like fun. Like that's what, like, I don't know if you remember, but like a lot of like the big streamers got into a Rust RP server during, I think, like the end of COVID. And like I was rewatching that, I'm like, damn, that looks so fun. Like, you know, I did that a little bit in like Fallout 76 when we played, and I played it for like the 2 days. I made a character called the Good Reverend Elijah Chad, and his entire shtick was purging the Appalachia of them undesirable type. And like,
oh yeah,
like stuff like that. Like I enjoy that stuff, man. Like that stuff's cool, but like that's why I think like if Harry Potter got like, or Hogwarts got an online, I think it'd be really, really fun, because if they had an RP server, it'd be like, yeah, stuff like
no, yeah, I agree. But no, yeah, I think you'll like what you'll like in Terraria, although it's the first probably hour or so of playing through will be a little bit of a slog of like, particularly since like getting you to learn like all the mechanics and doing stuff. But like I'll focus on the building so you can focus on just resource gathering.
Don't worry, you'll know I'm in desperate trouble when I start streaming Maple Story. If I start streaming Maple Story, just know I'm lost to the world. What
about if you start streaming Minecraft?
If I start streaming Minecraft, that's a cry for help. Like my life's falling apart.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to just like have it be like have a notification pop up for me, and it's like Spects is now streaming Minecraft. It's over, fellas.
That's what I would say. That's why I would just be like, game over. Game over. We're playing Minecraft. I am not a Minecraft guy whatsoever.
Oh no. I guess the other cry for help would be Fortnite.
I played Fortnite. Have you
done it on stream?
I haven't streamed it. I do have a YouTube video up. So I got it. Okay, here's what's funny about Fortnite.
Getting all defensive already.
So the first time I played it, I got thrown into a 3v3 with soccer, because in a 3v3 tournament with soccer, because she needed one other person, and she's like, and she saw I was on, and she's like, hey, I need you to play in this Fortnite tournament for me. She's like, with me, I don't care if you stream it, I just need a body. And I'm like, she's like, I know you're decent at shooters. I'm like, all right, sure. That was the first time I played Fortnite, and I spent the $20 to get like a Spider-Man skin, because I just didn't want a standard skin. So I got a Spider-Man skin. And then we played Fortnite. We played in that tournament. The highest we got was second, because soccer's too goddamn aggressive and doesn't understand the concept of letting peons shoot themselves. Then I got it like shortly before Christmas, or right around Christmas. And I was playing it by myself, and and when I played, I went on a tear and won like 5 straight in a row. And played. I recorded a couple, and that was like the back end of my streak. And then the highest I've gotten since is like 2nd. But I'm pretty okay at like Fortnite no build. Like, not to toot my own horn. I'm pretty good at murdering 10-year-olds.
I mean, do we need to talk about your skills at what was it, Apex?
We don't talk. Apex is listen.
I will
admit I suck at Apex. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, is when I first got Apex, it was like the reason I don't even know why I got Apex, to be honest with you, but I wanted to play like some sort of BR game, and I didn't want to get into Valorant. I think I regret it. I should have just gotten into Valorant. But I played Apex because I didn't want to get into Fortnite or Valorant. I played Apex and it took me forever to get my first confirmed kill because for whatever reason I couldn't do it. Legitimately couldn't do it. And then I got I went like 10 and then I got 10 in a row, and then like it's just been like standard ever since. But it took me like months to get a kill. It was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you want to? Do you want to bring up my bad shooting in Far Cry 5 when I lost my shot?
That's what I was gonna say.
I lost my shot.
Oh my god! Listening to
I was so
like this week.
I was so embarrassed because I
back and watch the.
Oh
VOD.
my god! I lost my shot and I was so upset.
What was funny was it was like the moment you lost your shot, we started calling you out, and then you were like, "No, I'm fine. I'm still good." And then
I still got it. I got it. And I couldn't get it, and then I got it again. I was like, "Okay, good." But God, that 2-minute period where I couldn't shoot the broadside of a barn was horrifying.
Well, and after last week's podcast recording, I had to absolutely take it to you. So that's what I'm saying. If you go to Spects' chat,
I didn't deserve.
Just type in
I won't say I didn't.
Gaming TV, then
I didn't. It's not that I didn't deserve it, but it was just like, dang, I haven't had one of those happen in a while.
Oh man, no, but it is funny. So, all right, so you put. I guess the next thing we wanted to talk about was the state of play.
In my defense, once again, the gun I was using with the sniper, I think that was a submachine gun with the sniper scope on it. It wasn't an actual sniper, so leave me alone at least a little bit. It's not much of an excuse when I should just be lining up the shot and being patient, but whatever.
I mean, the fact that you also started getting shot at and still couldn't save yourself.
Yeah, I know. Then I just went into panic mode.
And then you were like, "What am I supposed to do? Dodge and weave?" And I was like,
"No. You said no. No, what you said was, what happened to dodge?" And I'm like, "I can't dodge bullets, Bryce."
But that's the thing. If
I played it, the whole thing. I think when I lost my shot for that brief moment, I panicked, and instead of being like, okay, just like outsmart him and let him come to you, I just panicked instead of like reassessing, just being like, all right, we'll just do it smartly and work our way around and like keep everyone in front. I didn't do that.
I mean, your chat had a fun time with it, so
yeah, I'm glad they had a fun time with bullying me.
Even your new follower was just kind of like,
yeah, it's great when your new follower is just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
No, it was great. It was good content. So
great content.
So the state of play. I'm not a big PlayStation guy, so I didn't really follow this as hard. But
I didn't really follow it that hard. I sort of skimmed the presentation. The first half was mainly PlayStation VR 2, which is, hey, it looks good. Good on them. Good on PlayStation for it. The only thing I cared about was the final Resident Evil 4. But there's more to it. There were a bunch of, like I said, PlayStation VR demos. They did a thing for Destiny 2, but that's mainly because they bought Bungie. So we knew that one was going to happen. For I think
Baldur's Gate 3 is launching on August 31st. I've heard good things about the Baldur's Gate series.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, there's like a lot of stuff that's sort of coming down the line. Like I think there's a Tekken 6 or something they released, and then they spent like the majority of the time trying to sell you that horrible Suicide Squad game, which is good lord, man. There's a battle pass.
I guess the one that you wanted to focus on, the one that you're most excited for,
RE4, baby.
Resident Evil 4.
It looked good. the more I see it, the more I'm like, I need this game in my life. And I know there's going to be a demo for it. I just need to be patient and wait for the demo. But I want the demo now. I need that game. My buddy Martin played it on his stream, like the PlayStation 2 version. It still holds up, and I'm like, dang, this thing in the Village engine is gonna look so good. It's gonna look so
all that kind of makes me wanna pull out my disc for Resident Evil 2 just to see how people would react to Resident Evil 2.
I think it would get, honestly, I think it would get more of a following. I don't know if people would necessarily like go out of their way to watch it.
I haven't tried playing those games in years, but like I want to either pull out Resident Evil 2 or Silent Hill. I think I have both of those somewhere.
I think
Martin
played all 3 Silent Hills, and he did not do well on the first one.
The first Silent Hill game, I remember playing it as a kid, and like it goes as a kid, it just goes right over your head. There's so much like investigating and like detective work type stuff you have to do. And it's just like, what am I piecing together? But I remember watching my brother play it as a kid, and that game scared the crap out of me.
That first the first Silent Hill is really weird because there's no like pyramid head or anything. It's mainly like more of like a thriller-esque game. That
but
you
yeah,
can
and like it turns out the spoiler alert, the daughter dies or whatever, and
I think you can save. I don't remember. Like I think there are 3 endings, and like one you can save her or something. But like I remember when
they're all creepy endings.
Yeah,
too,
I remember when Martin beat it. He's like, are any of these endings actually like the better, like an actual good ending? Because he got the bad ending. But it was like none of them are really better than the other. I guess like there's one where the guy doesn't off himself, so I guess that's a win. I guess.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, all right.
This was the 90s when they could just put whatever they wanted into games. So.
But to be fair, like you don't really realize what he's doing. He just sort of like, and just sort of like falls over, like,
oh my gosh,
I poo-pooed myself. Like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, they're releasing Silent Hill too, so
which could be a fun one. But Resident Evil 4, the new demo.
I want the demo to come out. I need that demo to come out. Come out now, please. Please come out for me, just please. It'll probably.
You just want to
have a release date. They like all they say is like, well, we announced the demo. Give me the demo. I have a month. God, why do games I want to play and stream all come out at the same damn time? Resident Evil 4 comes out March 24th. I think the show drops like the same day. It's just like, why?
This is why I'm glad I don't often get excited for new games.
It's just like, well, the whole thing. I might not even play Resident Evil 4 till like October. But I'm like, it's like I mean I know the game, but it's just like,
what was that noise? How did that go? Anyways, no, but no, yeah, I mean, look, like for me, even as somebody who didn't really play much of the Resident Evil series, seeing a game like Resident Evil 4 get the remake treatment is gonna be fun to watch. I'll definitely catch your streams. Those have been games I've always been very invested in watching, not as much in playing myself, but in watching other people play and being like, whoa,
man,
sort of thing.
Yep.
But I mean, maybe it's just because like those were the games that I watched my brother play as a kid. Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill. I think I can't remember some of the other games, but he would play horror games and I'd watch him and I'd be like in the same room. And I'd be like, I'm like this 8-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid, like
same height.
Oh my gosh, what is going on? Yeah, basically. I mean, I think I've been the same height since like the age of 10. So
there you go. He's been 6 something.
Maybe not quite so tall, but I was like 5'11", around 10 or 11.
He's been 6'3" for 10 years at this point.
Basically. So. No, so yeah, so the speaking of you kind of briefly brought up MLB The Show coming out in a few months. So
yeah, they did.
What's the news?
They did a.
What's the news?
What? Are you done?
Yeah.
There's a lot. They're revamping a lot of the card collecting mode. They didn't say a whole. They said a lot, but didn't really expand on it. There's not going to be a lot of power creep, which is good. It'll be more evenly distributed because I think maybe it was just this year, and this is probably what killed the content for me. It was like cards they would release. They almost said like faux 99s, which like faux really high elite cards. So it felt weird where it was like, oh, hey, here's a free 99. And it wasn't that good of a card. And it was like the end of the year. And it's true because it's sort of like everyone knows like, oh, this card's not his best card. It won't be until like the end of the playing cycle, which, kind of sucks. Because the game kind of dies in like October-ish when the World Series ends. So hopefully doing that does that to like, not stagnate the content. Because to me, that's Madden's biggest problem is they like power creep the hell out of their content for however long it is. But they like, that's one of it. The other thing is they're doing captains, which can give boosts to certain cards if you meet a certain criteria. I play a gacha game that has something similar, which is a good twist of the nips to the game. So, that's mainly it. I made a video on it. I went a little bit more in depth. If you want to check that out.
Check that out. Yeah, check that out. Spects makes good content.
Check out that.
I make okay content, but Spects makes good content.
Check me out explaining stuff and being like, oh, well, it should play like this. Go check that out if you want a little bit more in-depth info. But that's the gist of it. It's like a taste because they're like actual content stream won't be until like for about another month. But it's sort of like, hey, just so you know, all of this is coming. And then they, with the tech tests and everything else that just ended, like kind of seeing how things will go and play and work will, I guess, helps a little bit. But we'll see how these things, how it plays out. Oh, the one thing I did want to share is they are bringing back Team Affinity. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
All right, carry on. Oh,
No.
well, I was going to say, I guess from MLB The Show, we're going to talk about MLB Network's top 10 players right now. Oh boy, did they stir up a little bit of controversy, dare I say.
Do you want to just highlight some of the controversy instead of, because obviously this is 10 players at every position.
No. This isn't the 10 players at every position. This is the top 10 in the league.
Is there a top 10 in the league? I can't find.
What they
there's the top 100 players right now.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was just the top 10. Where's the actual list?
Top 100 players right now, number 1 revealed. And look who it is.
Ohtani. Yeah, I know, shocking.
But I thought Aaron Judge was the best player.
So that's the thing I want to talk about. Where I have my gripes on with. Okay, one, let me get this out of the way real quick. I, for one, despise top 10 lists. I despise them and I love them. Why I despise them.
You and I have made plenty of them.
So, but okay, here's why the biggest reason why I don't like them is because here's my issue with it, especially with like active players, is it's really difficult in my opinion. So if I told you, hey, the best third baseman is Austin Riley. Okay, I say he's the best third baseman. And you said, no, it's Jose Ramirez. And then all we do is we start yelling stats at each other.
MLB.com best third baseman is Manny Machado.
Whatever. Or Manny Machado, whatever the hell it is. But like at a certain point, it just ends up being us just throwing like words.
Sure.
Like nothing comes of it because it's all opinion based nonsense. That means that at the end of the day means nothing. Right?
Sure.
So when it comes to like these lists, and for whatever reason they've done it, I feel like they've done it particularly this year, and it drives me nuts. Is they have this weird, really odd recency bias, and I don't understand. And I don't like. Do I think is Aaron Judge one of the top 10 players in the league? Yes. Is he number 2? Probably not. I would say
I still think it's an interesting decision to even put Shohei over Trout.
I think if you said Trout, Ohtani 1-2, I don't have a problem with it. Like Bleacher, like this is how wonky lists are. So like Bleacher Report's list has Mike Trout at number 10. Is Mike Trout the number 10 player? Absolutely goddamn not. Like get out of here. Like
I can get Trout's been injured the past couple of years, but
so like Bleacher Report put Aaron Judge at number 1. And it's like, well, why is he number 1? Oh, well, triple crown and 62 home runs. Where at the end of the day, like most people will be like, that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot.
Didn't he not even quite get the triple crown last year? Wasn't he just sort of in like average or something?
His average was like, he fell short, not by a lot.
Yeah, but it was really close. He was almost there. He had a really good year last year. I mean, I will not deny that.
But here's, like I said, my gripe, I guess, is I think now more than ever we have a lot of recency bias, and it drives me up a wall because I think it's absolutely stupid that, and people are okay when I say this, Mariners fans that don't come crawling down out of like cockroaches when I say this. I'm sorry, Julio Rodriguez is not a top 50 player in baseball. I hate to be the one to break it to you. My bad. Apologies extended, but he's not. Is he in the top 100? Yeah, he's probably in the 50 to 100 range. Sure. I don't think he's a top 50 player. That's absurd. Well, you wouldn't say that about Mike Trout. You're right. I wouldn't say that about Mike Trout. Mike Trout was an MVP candidate his rookie year. Julio wasn't his rookie year. Julio's good, but he's not that good.
Yeah, sure.
Because the whole thing is, and I hope I'm wrong. If like the reason why I wouldn't rank him that high is like give me another year, because I think the Mariners are going to regress. I've been saying it's all off season. The Mariners are going to regress probably to 3rd place, just because I think they overperformed and they're come back to earth. I don't know why nobody else is saying this. I don't understand, but that's going to happen. But let's just so going from the bottom here. Number 10 was Freddie Freeman. I think it's about that. That feels right, I guess. This is where the controversy starts. They put Yordan Alvarez as number 9, and people were kind of upset because he's mainly a designated hitter, doesn't play a lot of the field, and they sort of think he doesn't fit there. So people who were missed in like that range were Trey Turner was 6. I think Trey should have been in the top 10. Same thing with Juan Soto. Sandy Alcantara should have been in the top 10. So there's 3 guys right there that I think should have been in the top 10. Same thing with Harbor, should have been at least 11. Yordan. Jose Ramirez was number 8 again. Sure. Goldschmidt should not have been in the top 10. I think their recency bias because he won the MVP and had a great year. I don't think he's going to repeat. Arenado, 6. Again, feels about right. For sure. Manny at 5. Again, I think that feels all right. These are weird. Okay, this is where I think the fun. So that was 5. This is where I think the fun begins. Number 4 was Mookie. Here's what I think here are the top 3 players in my opinion. Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. And you can probably, and I'd say put them in any order. That's my opinion. I think it's those 4 and everyone else. I guess realistically, if you want to be like Shohei should be 1 because he pitches and hits at an elite level, sure, put him at 1. But I think the rest of them you can kind of put in any order. However, I would say if I had to order them, it's Judge, Betts, Trout, Ohtani.
Sure.
That's what I'd say. But I know some people were very like like I said, I think there's a lot of recency bias, and they want to put like guys who, I guess did that.
You want to award the people for what they were able to accomplish.
See, I guess this is my weird issue. Is they say like, oh, it's 3. Everyone likes to do like it's 3 years average together. 3 years average together. It's like, okay, cool. 3 years average together. All right.
It still means in one of those years you could have had really good numbers, and then the other 2 had,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's my point. Is I'm like, it's like, okay, but what are you? I don't understand. Like, it feels like there's not a lot of argument. It's just sort of like, well, he hit 62 home runs. He's got to be like close to number 1.
No,
is what it feels like, which I guess is all right. I guess it just it feels weird. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think top 10 lists are literally designed for things like this, where you and I are having this discussion.
Yeah, it's a conversation starter because
they want us to be reading and going, oh my gosh, I can't believe MLB.com said this.
No, it's not that I don't believe it. I do think it's completely opinion based, that we can have the arguments of something, and everyone has their own opinions. But like, do these rankings matter at the end of the day? Not really. I think they're fun. They're fun. It's fun sports radio, like talk radio content,
Sure.
Which is all,
I agree. And the problem is I don't disagree with any of your opinions, so there's not much for me to. I can't sit here, you old school sports radio, and be like, how dare you not think Mookie Betts is actually closer to number 6 or 7?
How dare you? Go.
No, those are clearly the best players.
Here, I got one for you. Kobe's better than LeBron. How about that? Is that a hot topic debate?
LeBron. Here's without going too far into this, because we do not play for it, but without going too far into this, I think LeBron has had the greatest career of any basketball player ever. But I don't think he's the greatest player of all time.
That's fair. Sound like, yeah.
I think there's a difference, and I also personally wouldn't say it's Kobe. I'm not a Lakers honk who says
it's Kobe. Still Jordan?
It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's still Michael Jordan. And people say, well, LeBron has more points. LeBron has more assists.
Jordan took how many years off to play baseball?
Yeah, Jordan took 2 years off for baseball. He took a year or 2 between his retirement from the Bulls before he played for the Wizards, and then he was playing for the Wizards and not having a returning cast. Jordan wasn't given a lot of the same things that LeBron was given at the beginning of his career. It's the same thing with Kobe. Like, these are players who were not given everything on a silver platter. And like, don't get me wrong, LeBron wasn't given like a great supporting cast right off the starting bat, but he was given the ball.
Yeah, so
like,
I think Kobe
came off the bench his first year or 2. It's like, look, it's like people ignore a lot of what the actuality was of these players' careers.
Yeah,
and the fact that LeBron has also lived in a league that is more accepting of load management, where LeBron can keep himself healthier for a longer term, that allows him to play longer and get the stats that he has.
Yeah, so Jordan, looking at his basketball reference, Jordan didn't play the entirety of the 93-94 season. And when he did play in 94-95, he played in a whopping 17 games.
Yeah, no, the amount of seasons he had compared to LeBron is night and day. And it's not because LeBron took better care of himself. It's because Michael Jordan had a lot more going on in his life. So
yeah, and he took 3 years off from 99 to 01.
Yeah, so it's like he could have, if he had just kept going and going and going, yeah, we'd be talking about LeBron. Could LeBron pass Michael Jordan for most points of all time? Oh my goodness, I don't know if we'll ever figure it out. Like, can LeBron survive another year or two of playing basketball? Sort of thing. And then,
so I mean,
I think that's honestly what the discussion would be if Michael Jordan had a career where he wasn't being frustrated by Krause, he wasn't, having bad teams and other issues that prevented him from scoring.
Isn't Jordan in the top 5 anyway in points with 32?
He is. He's
so if he would have,
so
realistically, he probably would have passed Jordan. He probably would have passed Kareem with what? With 5 extra years.
Even when he went and played for the Wizards, like he wasn't Michael Jordan anymore, but like obviously he'd taken a few years off, but like he still was really good. He still was one of the better players in the league. Like, so the fact is like if you think in those interim years, like he probably could have done a lot more with his stats. So
yeah, definitely. Also, just a side note, I guess we can touch on this briefly before we swing back into baseball, because there's going to be a lot of baseball on the back end of this. But Russell Westbrook went to the Clippers, LOL, and he's starting, LOL. And the Clippers PR is like, who's stopping this big three? It was a picture of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Russell Westbrook, and I'm like, I can think of a couple teams.
All of the NBA like marketing for Russell Westbrook was funny because like the marketing for when he went to LA was almost non-existent, and then everybody was online talking about, oh, that's not gonna work, and it's like it's this bias against the Lakers. But
it's not going to work with the Clippers either.
It's not going to work for the Clippers either.
It's the exact same.
He's the same. It's the same style of players. Paul George.
That's the funny bit.
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are the same style of players as LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
No, that's what's so funny to me.
Russell Westbrook's not going to have the ball in his hands any more than he did in LA.
The funny bit of it is
in the Lakers.
And the funny part of it is realistically, he's going to be in the same spot. He got acquired for the same reason Lakers got him. If Kawhi's hurt, we still have another star. Like, that's really all it is. We still have like another elite player.
He's not that guy anymore.
No, he's not that guy. But it's the idea. It's the same idea of like Brooklyn, where it's like, we can have the combination of the two. So when Kawhi gets phantom hurt again and Paul George poops too hard, like we still have another guy.
But I mean, like, if you look at his last season with the like, okay, if you want me to excuse like his years on the Lakers, like,
it's empty stats.
Westbrook is an all-time great.
It's what's weird with Russell Westbrook, and I've had this conversation before. Do you know how what's if you ever want to have a fun time and just see what empty numbers look like, take a look at Andre Drummond's basketball reference sheet and realize that this man, when I say he's a useless potato, he is quite literally a useless potato. And it makes no sense because the man's a double machine, but does nothing. And it makes no sense whatsoever that he can have a 2020 year, 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 points, 20 rebounds, and have it mean nothing. Is nothing short of spectacular. And that's Russell Westbrook. Is he get triple doubles and it does nothing, and it makes no sense because he has the efficiency of a potato.
Yep,
he's a useless potato.
Yep.
All right, carry on.
But no, and that's all I'm saying. Like, even his last year with the Washington Wizards, he wasn't going to be the guy that carried you to the playoffs. He wasn't going to be the guy that carried you through the playoffs. So, like, he's not that guy anymore. And people need to stop, like, showing their bias against the Lakers and realize the Lakers made a great trade. Look at the Lakers now. They're a lot better of a team.
Yeah.
LeBron and Anthony Davis both had bad games against the Warriors. And the Lakers still won by 13 points. This is a team that I'm honestly starting to see and go, could this Lakers team do something?
We had this conversation last night before before Tim went to sleep because he's in the Central Time Zone. But it was like they have an outside shot of getting like 6 in the West, or hell, even 4. And it's like, where do you see him fit? And I go, I think the ceiling's 4. I think the floor is like 8. But I do think that if I had to guess, I think they're going to be 7 to 5 range, I think. But their schedule's not overly difficult. And everyone else is going to lose too. Because at this point, like, honestly, at this point, all that really matters is I don't care what, as long, if realistically, I'm probably rooting for the top 2 teams to like pull away and just bully everyone else when it's not the Lakers.
Yeah.
Where it's like, let the Nuggets go wild. Like, let every team that like is above the Suns and all, like the Mavericks, like bully them into the ground, please, when they play. Like, because all we have to do is just like keep our heads above water and let everyone else go. So I think somebody said like the Bucks play the Suns on Sunday. Let's go Bucks.
And I'm excited to see how the year ends. And I thought it was fun that
they could make a run.
Patrick Beverley signed with the Chicago Bulls, and he immediately said,
really?
"We got 2 games against the Lakers, and I want to play spoiler." I
love him.
Here's the thing: having had Patrick Beverley for this year, I love him. I like him now. He's ironic.
Right. I said this before. I go, is he one of those guys where like you hate when you play against him, but love when he plays for you? And I'm going to tell you this. I will never forget him taking the camera and showing the ref and being like, "Did you miss this?" Like that will forever be ingrained in my brain. Like, I don't care if all the crap you pulled, Beverly, that like, if you come back to Staples Center, and you probably will, you deserve a standing ovation strictly for that camera move, my guy. Like, then we can go back to hating you. But for that brief second,
can we get a statue of him outside of Crypto.com Arena with him holding the camera up? Like,
just like, it's right here. Oh wait, I have my camera. What am I doing? It's like, hey, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. So it should be an interesting end of the NBA season. We'll see how this all pans out, but I really do think the Lakers have a solid chance to end this on a high note. So, and possibly make some noise in the playoffs.
All right, who's ready
for how much noise, but it could be fun.
All right, who's ready to talk hypothetical standings?
Yeah, that's the best thing. Best part of the off season.
All right, so baseball is a bunch of stat nerds. So we have Pacoda and Zip. Basically, all these things do is they simulate a bunch of seasons and games and sort of throw the lump average into a standing. And the big thing for the Angels is they're basically in the playoff push, and the Rangers aren't, which was like the big key for the most part. I think Pacoda had him at 85 wins, I believe.
I think one of them, I think Pacoda or one of them did have the Angels and Rangers like tied.
Yeah, a lot of them have them like I think I said, because I put a comment in with Locked On Angels, and I think my number was 90 because that's like my ceiling. My ceiling's 90. My floor is like 85. I think they're going to be in the wild card hunt. So I think the 85 to 90 ballpark range is probably likely, which might seem high, but I'm like, I think they're going to be in the third wild card spot, and I don't think like a 5-game range really matters a whole lot. But I think that's where they're going to be. I think they'll be second in the West. That's really where I've been, and everything sort of seems to prove I'm right.
Here's the thing with this offseason was the Rangers made some really flashy big name pickups, and it's like
a flashy big name
pickup. And then they made a couple of like nice little moves, but like the Angels made a lot of really good depth moves. Hunter Renfroe, and
Renfroe, Urshela,
Urshela, like all these guys that it's gonna be like now all of a sudden the guys that were where the Angels had to ask these guys this last year, hey, we need you to play a big role in our offense. Now they're playing depth roles in the offense instead of main scoring roles. And so it's like, now we're getting to a point where I'm like, I expressed this a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I don't remember. But like, this is a team where I'm seeing them and I'm saying, look, the difference in this year and last year is depth. Like, it's a huge amount of depth. Yes. Because we could lose some guys. We could lose Rendon. And honestly, I believe Rendon, because Rendon came out, I think this past week, and he said, I'm like, my goal is to play most of the season.
Was that the same article?
I honestly believe that he's going to have a better season. I'm not going to say like he's going to be like dominant, but I think he's going to be a solid contributor.
Was that the same article where he was talking about, they asked him the difference between I was like, I've blanked on his name. God damn. And then Phil Nevin and Joe Madden. He's like, oh, I don't want to badmouth Joe Madden.
Well, no, okay. I didn't see that, but probably.
He made the comment like, oh, I don't want to badmouth Joe Madden. And I thought that, so I find that funny because I worked with the guy so this guy I worked with had 2 jobs. Disneyland was his fun job, but his real job was working for the Long Beach School District. And he did facilities for the district. And he worked with Evan Longoria's dad. And the one thing he asked Evan was his dad was, well, how did Evan feel about Joe? And he goes, let me tell you something. From what Evan told me was, Joe's shtick gets old very quickly. He goes, it's fun the first year, but by year 2 and 3, you're like, hey, Joe, can we not do this? Thanks.
Yeah, no.
And I've heard that, and that was even something like when the Angels got him from the Cubs. That was one thing like we even heard it was like, hey, this shtick gets kind of old.
Yeah, really it was fun at first, and then it didn't get so fun after that. Yeah. No, yeah, and I mean, since we're talking about the Angels a bit more than I originally, we talked a little bit before the stream, or not the stream, the podcast, but Shohei's agent came out and it caused a whole like kerfuffle on Twitter because anything Shohei related causes a kerfuffle. And Shohei's agent, Balelo, I forget what his first name is.
Noel.
Nez Balelo.
That's a name.
He said, so he's asked about a possible extension during spring training for Shohei Ohtani with the Angels. That I've always been open to it, but in this situation, there's several layers. Shohei's earned the right to play through the year and explore free agency. We'll see where it shakes out. And everybody, like the Fox News posts with this, or the Fox Sports
Fox News, huh?
Post with, sorry, not Fox News. The Fox Sports post with this was, if there was any doubt that Shohei Ohtani is going to test free agency, it's all evaporated now. And it's like, no, it hasn't. Like, literally, what do you expect an agent to say? Oh my gosh, Shohei is begging to come back to the Angels, and he wants me to sign a deal as quickly as possible before the season starts so that he can focus on playing for the Angels. No, he's not going to say that because that takes away all his bargaining power. An agent is always going to say, yeah, well, we'll see what the best thing is for my player, sort of thing. No, I mean, like, they could be close to a deal, and
yeah.
He's not gonna wear that patch on his shoulder. He's gonna wait until things are all, knotted up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and I think this is something that people fail to realize, is ultimately comes down to where the player wants to go, as much as like Boris will get you otherwise. At the end of the day, if Ohtani told his agent, hey, I want to stay in Anaheim, like that's where we're gonna go. That's where I want to be, is Anaheim. Like he's gonna stay in Anaheim.
Well, and ultimately, look. Every article I see is like, oh, New York Mets are going to just throw all the money at him. He's going to go play for the Mets next year. He could play with this other big player and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no. If Shohei, like, based on what people who fans and people who are around Shohei, he's not going to New York.
It really, I think when they say like, oh, the Mets, he's going to go play for the Mets because they have.
I could see him playing for the Padres.
No, that's the one thing. Like I think
see him playing for the Mariners.
Yeah, Mariners, Padres, maybe the Dodgers because it's still like LA because he's like that same thing. Like it's the West Coast. I don't think Epler being a Met's really gonna like attract a whole lot. To be honest with you, I think he sort of wants to stay on the West Coast. I do think he wants to stay on the West Coast. I don't foresee him going to like an East Coast team. I don't even see him going to like Chicago, to be honest with you. I think it's literally like what you said, like the Mariners, the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Angels. I just don't know if he prioritizes one over the other, because it might
No,
like,
no, don't get me wrong.
Because on top of it too, with Trout, when Trout's free agency was pending, he signed a deal. Like his deal was done, like his extension was signed like 2 days before. So it's not like this stuff hasn't happened before.
Well, and all the talk when Trout was...
It was the same thing. It was like, he's going to Philly.
Sign with the Angels. He's going to go to Philly or the Yankees. It's clear.
It was Philly, and that was the team. I was like, if he's going to go anywhere, it'd be Philly because he wants to be closer to home. It wouldn't be the Yankees. It would be Philly.
Want to play for his team that he grew up idolizing.
Yeah, and I think, but also too, and this is just me being a South baseball fan. I would have. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad he stayed in Anaheim, but damn, it would have been cool to see him and Harper in a 2-3 in a lineup.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
That would have been, that would have been fun to watch. Like, it would have killed me to see him walk, but oh man, that'd been a banger of a lineup.
That was one of the best days of my life, though, was seeing Trout resign.
I mean, I'm there with you, but we'll see it in the World Baseball Classic more than likely with Trout and Harper 2-3. But oh man, seeing that on a nightly basis.
Also, maybe we're doing this out of order, but and maybe we'll finish on the World Baseball Classic. But Pujols, back in the Angels organization.
Yeah, Pujols was around there. There was a picture today of Erstad being around, so it's cool that they're at least open to having these guys around. I don't know if it's an Artie thing or Nevin's
Pujols
we're bringing.
Say he's going to honor that services contract, and I think there's a lot of good that can come from that. As much as you and I don't necessarily respect Pujols anymore.
Another pair of eyes is another pair of eyes, and I'm always for it. And
it's great for Trout's morale. He'll get to buddy with Pujols during the season, and. Well, I think that can even be a positive benefit on Ohtani, because Ohtani, I think, was pretty good friends with Pujols too. So it's
I think something, I don't know, maybe getting released from the Angels changed something in him, because it seemed like he was more okay with being in a different role with the Dodgers and Cards. So I don't know if it was I'm all of a sudden he slammed back to earth when, Perry, who gives no shits, was like, you're done.
And Perry was like, look, we've got a log jam of people. You're not willing to do what we need you to do.
Goodbye.
So we're going to ship you out. Not ship you out, but we're going to
let you go. If you want to go somewhere else, go somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe that humbled him a little bit, but his main thing is going to be Dominican Republic stuff, which is we need better international signing. So I'm sure he still has weight there, but I hate him as a player, but if he's a coach and he's just being another pair of eyes because he played and he's this helped me, hey, all for it. Go ham. It's always cool to see these older guys. Like I said, Erstad was there earlier, I think Friday, at camp, and Gio Urshela was playing first, and Erstad won a Gold Glove at first in center field. So I'm sure getting just having different guys around who've done it before and just see something different, I'm 1,000% for. Get the extra eyes. Let these guys see something. Whether it's pitching, hitting, get all the eyes you can and see. Because sometimes I remember when I was playing, if I felt something wrong in my swing and I could feel something was off. Some people didn't catch it. It would take one person to be like, oh yeah, you're doing this. Someone will catch it. So having an extra pair of eyes, like I said, I'm all for. So Pujols wants to be there, go. Weaver wants to be there, cool. The fucking Molina brothers want to be there, cool. Carry on.
So yeah, but finishing up, I think World Baseball Classic, everybody's favorite time of the year.
Well, it doesn't start for another couple of weeks. The first game's on the 7th. The U.S. plays on that Saturday against Great Britain, so we're in for a win. But we're gonna have real baseball again, and like I said briefly last week, I assume it's gonna be U.S. and Japan. But I still just want to cover it kind of we go along, because we're spring training games just started, and the Angels' first televised game with their guys will be on Sunday. And they already said Trout and Ohtani will be playing because they have to get these guys. You're going to see, this is a great, okay. Let me share something fun. This right now, if you're a baseball guy and you want to see your like bigger guys play, you're going to see a lot of them on an accelerated program because they have to get ready for the World Baseball Classic. So you're going to see, I think they're in camp this week with their teams, and I think next week they jump to the U.S. side, and then the Angels play the United States, I think like Wednesday or something of next week or the following week.
My
I don't
question
know.
is, so the Angels play the United States, so do the Angels play against Trout?
Yes. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. It's cool, something a little bit different and all that. So you're going to see like guys doing like getting kind of more game ready a little bit sooner. It's cool to see. And then we get to see it like, you know, Captain America be Mike Trout for a little bit, which is always fun. I'm excited for it. I know it's no World Cup, and I'm trying people in it, and it's like, it's international baseball, and everyone's like, no one cares, Spects. And I'm like, but I care.
Spects cares, so we should all care.
I don't want any. See, this is me, and it's really me, and I told one of my friends this, and I'm like, because they're like, why do you try to get me into baseball? And because it's like my thing. It's my thing. I want to share my thing, and I am a horrible person at trying to explain why you should try this thing. But I'm like, I don't want to say it. It's fun. I don't know. It's boring as shit to watch. I understand, but just.
That's the ending thought on that is.
Because it feels like a lot of times I'm just yelling. I'm like old man yelling at clouds when it comes to baseball. Because I can't describe it other than it's fun. Like I don't know what I don't know. Like
your Grandpa Simpson in this analogy.
Yes, I literally just old man yelling at clouds, and I'm just like, someone.
And then you're that one old guy from SpongeBob. I love the young people.
Yeah, I guess. It's sort of weird.
I'm just trying to bring all the old people analogies in that I can.
Yes. Oh God. Weirdo.
But, no.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I think it's definitely a fun time for baseball to be back. I always look forward to the season starting, and you know, the thing I like about spring training is just watching everybody on Angels social media overreact to everything that happens during spring training, because it's like if they don't play well, then it's like, we're gonna be terrible. But if they do play well, then it's like spring training means nothing. And
I love
like,
nothing more
negative regardless.
I love nothing more, and it's gonna happen again this year, than a certain account getting a certain few accounts be nothing more than Angel homers and sucking off Artie the rest of the time. And then when they suck, be like, y'all weren't negative in April when we were doing well. And I'm like, not on Twitter, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I will always be Buttercup. I will always be prepared to get Buttercupped.
I remember it was a couple of years ago. Timmy posting like, dare I say it?
It was last year. Dare I say it? We're good.
No. It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
I thought it was last year.
No, because last year it went on longer.
Oh, was that it?
The Angels had a good first month to the season in 2021. I think it
what
was.
Did we say?
What it was.
I know there was one point where,
and I remember I responded to Timmy and I said, I don't know. I'm still waiting because I don't want to like be disappointed. And like Timmy was like, no, you got to get on board now. Blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden the Angels sucked. And I was like, see, this is why I didn't get on board.
It was wait to see. Oh, because I think in one of our earlier podcasts we were like, I think it was like we will see. Where it was like, wait, are the Angels good? And then it was like, oh, you can literally.
They were like, no, they suck.
You can tell when like the struggles sort of happen. Or was it? I'm trying to look. Like there isn't. Oh, read that Mercer. Oh, that's what it was. Because you know what I called. Okay, this is funny. This is hilarious. So so in May, these are the three. Our three are the end of May. Here's what our episodes were titled. Or no, 3 episodes in a row. The highest of highs when Reed Detmers threw his no-hitter, I believe. Oh no, highest of highs, Spects 8's Tiny Tina's Wonderland, followed by It Can't Get Worse. So literally in 1 week, Reed Detmers threw a no-hitter, and then we go a lot. Plus the Angels plus the Angels suck, and it couldn't possibly get worse. And I put with an asterisk at the end of this. This was recorded on Tuesday night.
Oh my gosh!
Then I have to note that hey, we didn't think it'd get this bad, and then Joe gets fired, and it was Joe Madden's mohawk. We talk. Spects torches former Angels manager Billy Epper, Joe Madden's mythical mohawk. I just love the fact that I had to put this was recorded on Tuesday night.
That was quite a season last year, and I'm just hoping that this season is a little bit more like ho-hum, where we're like good, but like not so good that we're like, oh my gosh, we're so good. But then we're never bad to the point where we're like, oh. And then we just get to the end of the year and we're like, oh, hey, we made the playoffs.
Yeah, there was literally a point where it was just like sad Angels talk.
Yeah, that's like all we did after the Angels went on that losing streak was like, oh, this is a bummer. So, no, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to baseball. I'm looking forward to seeing what pans out with the Angels. I want to see Rendon actually do well, and I want to see the whole Angels roster do so well that Shohei gets to the trade deadline and goes, I'm going to sign a contract extension.
By the way, we called the Angel season dead in July, where we had an episode titled "Press F: The Angels Are Done."
One of my favorite. At the point we were like, they should try to salvage stuff, but we were sure that they couldn't do much. So
I put Spects rips the Angels again, and then the next episode was Spects won't shut up. Where it was you? Did you ever get that third monitor?
I do have 2 monitors here, but I never did set up my third monitor.
Oh, okay.
At the time, I wasn't even near streaming, so there was no point. But
gotcha. Oh, my favorite title ever was "Let's Ditch the Shortstop Position."
Oh yeah, that was me saying. If you wanted baseball to be more interesting, get rid of the shortstop.
Let's get rid of the shortstop.
I think it was like, but that's not a real suggestion. That was just me being stupid.
And then you ranted for 40 minutes.
What did I rant about that day?
It was player safety.
That was when I ranted about player safety for concussions. Yeah, that was fun. That was like my first rant ever, I think.
It was great. I did call an episode "The Bucket Is Love, the Bucket Is Life." Yeah.
Yeah. That was when I was really into the Stanley Parable. I still am. I still have that game, but Hogwarts Legacy has taken over all my content. So not all of it, but most of it. Seems like we're winding down.
Anything else you want to add before we end this? It's the shortest episode.
No, let's put a bow on this thing.
This is the shortest episode. A short episode.
Shorter episode we've done in a while, yeah.
Last week was also last week was also short. Last week was only a little bit over an hour. This one's gonna be about the same, a little over.
We're kind of in that lull though, where not a whole lot of sports is actually going on.
There's not a lot going on.
This.
There's not a lot going on, and we're kind of like in a weird drip for video games where it's not like a lot's going on. So everyone's everyone's really playing the backlog. It sort of feels like, which is fine, but.
I'll still be playing Hogwarts Legacy.
All right. Well, have yourself a good rest of the week. All that stuff. We'll be back next Monday on YouTube and the Spotify with more. We'll probably talk a little bit Terraria and how our stream went and all that. And and all that fun stuff. So
see if Spects if I start razzing Spects about his Terraria skills.
Oh, you probably will.
We'll see.
All right. Well, all that. Have yourself a good week. We'll see you next Monday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Pacific on both platforms, if I do my editing right. So, yeah. Have yourself a good one. I am Spects. That is Bryce, and we'll see you guys all next time. Bye.
See you guys.